Hi everyone. I've just finished watching Demara's video on, I think it's Jehovah's Witness conversation. So I think we should play a little game. It's called One of These Things is Not Like the Others. Can you see which one of these things are not like the others? In this picture, focus. See if you can find the one that's not like the other. Can you find the one that's not like the other? Do they all look the same? Do they all feel the same? Can you find the one that's not quite like the others? Can you find the one that's not like the others? Does it stick out? Can you see it? Is it one of us? Can you find the one that's not like the others? Well, I thought about this whole badge nonsense in their conversation. Oh my goodness, they were just so upset about the fact, oh, my kids, they want to belong. And, that's that whole pressure that they put on you to want you to conform, to want you to toe the line, to want you to fall in line. They don't have to have a gun next to your head. They don't have to have it. Why? Because this type of mind control makes people want to be a part of the group. These people are upset because their kids aren't getting badges for the district convention. They want their kids to feel like one of the group. Are these people going to pressure their children in the future to get baptized like I was when I was 12? Are they going to pressure them to get baptized at 10? Is it because one of these things is not like the others? When one of these things are not like the others, Jehovah's Witnesses tend to disfellowship that thing. They don't want anything there that's not like the others. They want everyone to be in compliance and toe the line. Notice in their conversations about the badges at the district convention, and their children not having the badges because they're not publishers and they're not really Jehovah's Witnesses. People are like, well, why don't you call the society and see if it's okay to make a copy? Honestly, if I was Jehovah's Witness, I would be. If I wanted to make a copy of a piece of paper, I don't need to call anybody in a whole other state to tell me if it's okay. And if you have a problem with me making a copy of a piece of paper that you gave me, you need to put that on the back of the piece of paper that says, do not make a copy. But I would think still it's not a problem to make the dang copy if you're not using it to promote some type of, to sell it or to make money off of it. Because Lord knows that, Watchtower Bible Tract Society don't make money off anybody, do they? Sure, right? I mean, it's really sad to see that. And I was also watching another video about another ex-J-Dub made a video on YouTube about how, there was a woman in her congregation. I think she said her name was, I remember the last name was Ibarra. Her name was Leota Ibarra, and that they disfellowshipped her because she was one of these things that wasn't like the others. She had Alzheimer's, and so she began to use tobacco. And of course, because she wasn't like the others, they had to make her pay. They had to get rid of her. They had to push her to the side. And like I said, I think other people have discussed the whole disfellowshipping thing. They have to disfellowship people. That keeps the rest of all the other drones in lines. I think from the beginning, I always knew I was one of these things that wasn't like the others. I realized at an early age that I was smarter than my parents on certain things. And I felt like if I knew things and I was aware of things that they didn't know, like I could read and write in Latin. I knew lots of things about science that my parents had no idea about. So if I knew those things, is it quite possible for this to not be right too? And that was my whole, my thought process on the whole situation. But I knew as a child I wouldn't be able to exert my own will to be able to do things on my own. So, of course, I bent to the rules and became one of these things like the others and got baptized when I was 12. And, but once again, I also realized I was a POW. I realized that as long I only had a short sentence in this jail, I would only have to be at the Hanoi Hilton for just a short period of time. That the torture and abuse would eventually stop one day. And I realized that that one day would be 6 years away. And that if I did what they wanted me to do and acted like they wanted me to act, then I would be relatively left alone. And therefore, I would become one of those things that was just like the others. But inside, I knew I could never be just like them. I knew I could never be like the girls that would be on a part of the dramas that had abortions, or be like the families where the husband would beat the woman, his wife, publicly in the congregation, or be like the other girls that secretly did things that they would have found as abominations within the organization. But these were the people, as long as they kept their secret, no one had anything to say about it. So they always looked like one of those things, like everything that looked like the others. Unfortunately, like I said, it's us hard to press down your personality 100% of the time. It's hard to do that. And I hope that, the funny thing is they talked about these cards and their kids having them. And then someone made a slight comment about, what about blood cards? Yeah, what about that? You're all upset about the fact that you can't have your child can't have a dang badge at the district convention. But at the same time, you're willing to roll the dice on their life with these stupid blood cards. It's okay for them to die for Jehovah, but they can't have a district convention badge. All I can say is the priorities in that organization is totally screwed up by the people. You know what I mean? You're more than willing to sign your child's name on I will let you die if you need a blood transfusion card. But you all, I don't really know if I should make them a copy of my card so they will look like the rest of us. I mean, it's really crazy. It's insane. Sometimes I wish they would stand back and look. I really wish sometimes they would just stand back and focus on what's going on within the organization and realize that maybe there is something going on there. And maybe they're one of those things that aren't like the others. So therefore, they may want to leave. Because they shouldn't want to conform like that. They shouldn't want to be in a place where it's okay to see a person with Alzheimer's treated badly because they don't fit the norm that's expected. They shouldn't be in a place where the norm is to let your child die without a blood transfusion. That's the type of thing that you stay silent with, and you act like the rest. I mean, even now in my life, I have to be honest and open with my feelings and how I feel about things. I can't pretend to be something that I'm not anymore. I have to be myself all the time. 100% of the time, I have to be. I cannot squish that, press that down into something that people feel more comfortable with. Because I had to do that my whole life. Not that I'm just doing outrageous things, but just for me to have my own identity, my own thoughts, my own feelings, my own ideas about everything. So if any of you are watching that wanted to make your badge for your kid, make your badge for the kid. But also think, maybe it's time for you to leave this crappy organization. But that's all I have for tonight, guys. Have a good night.